Hello and welcome to the Permaculture Vine Podcast, where we talk about permaculture, people and projects. I'm your host, Cormac Harkin, and today we have Dominik Jais on. Welcome, Dominik. Did I pronounce that right?
Hi, Cormac. Hey, thanks for having me. Amazing that it finally worked out.
I guess must be the third or fourth attempt, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dominik, can you just give us a quick 30 or 60-second introduction, please?
Oh, 60-second. Okay, I'm Dominik. I'm German. I live in Finland. I'm a web developer. I'm a diploma tutor, so permaculture diploma tutor. I run the software of the European Permaculture Network, where I am currently the lead. And yeah, of course, I wrote a book about digital permaculture. Yeah.
Great stuff. Looking forward to hearing about particularly the book. So Dominik, do you want to take us back to the start? How did you first hear about permaculture?
Oh, long story. Okay. 2014, I'm going to the local hack space and I'd like to work on an Arduino art project. So like physical computing, writing some code for some sensors. So I'm sitting there and there are three guys and they have playing around with some, I think it's Adafruit or SparkFun robots. And they are trying to get them running by copy and pasting code from the internet and nothing works. So I look onto these guys' laptop and say, nope, that's not how it works. So I help them to finish or code the robot and we got it running. So pretty simple stuff, put it on the floor and it drives around and it has one sensor basically that is an ultrasound sensor measuring the distance. So whenever it comes too close to something, it just turns to 180 degree and goes the other direction. Pretty funny stuff. The guy was Thomas Henry Culhane, and he invited me to come to New York. So we went to New York, and he was during that time a professor at the Dobbs Ferry College. That's the one Mark Zuckerberg went to. And there is a gathering of all the DIY biogas guys, because TH is deep down into DIY biogas innovations and experimentation. And there's this huge guy, Andrew Puchalski. And Andrew, you know, it's like he's from somewhere from Game of Thrones, you know, huge giant. And he's carrying this huge book with himself. And it's, of course, their designer's manual. And he is constantly talking about that permafrost is the solution to everything. And I'm like to my wife, how is permafrost a solution to everything? So I didn't get the term right during that time. And luckily, we were invited to go to a final presentation of Andrew Faust's PDC. And there is Casey Puffer, and she's also with the biogas community, and she presents about a project, a permaculture project. And this is where I finally got the term right. And so, permaculture, that makes sense. Yeah, this is where I first found about permaculture, 2014 in New York.
Oh, great stuff. That guy's got a YouTube channel, Thomas Culhane, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think I've subscribed to him.
Yep.
Yeah, so was your wife aware of permaculture at this time in 2014 when you went to that conference, or is this were you aware of what so you got the term right, permaculture, at the conference? Did you start practicing then, or were you inspired?
Yeah, inspired, and it took some time, so I had to crawl myself through some books and read about it. So German literature, there is Sepp Holzer, of course, and then Aranya, and then of course the designer's manual. So I kind of tagged along with different books and websites and videos and so on. So it took some years to get there.
Yeah.
To get deeper understanding.
And then did you do a PDC?
Yeah, but this was done in 2018. Here in Finland, the PDCs are rare. You get one or so per year. If you're lucky, there's one per year. So this was with George Sobol. Yeah, he's accredited with the Permaculture Association Britain. Yeah, so 2018.
Great stuff. And was that an in-person one, 2 weeks?
Yeah, that was an intensive 2 weeks in person at Elontila. So like it's not really a cottage, but a house in there close to Lahti. So here in Finland, and quite interesting. The whole area was built like a Japanese house, kind of with toris where you walk through. A very interesting place.
And were you gardening yourself at this stage?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. We were kind of preparing our own garden and started our own designs. Yeah.
Yeah. And what kind of gardening? Did you have a big garden at the time, or?
Sorry, say again.
What kind of gardening were you doing? Annuals, perennials? Was this?
Yeah,
what kind of site was it?
This was annual. So when we were still living in Germany, we were at the what's it called? A communal garden where you have not really allotments, but like some space where you can try certain things. And of course, we tried hugel baits, and the snails ate everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I tried hugel beds here, I would get wasps' nests.
Yeah. The wasps' nests we have here at all kinds of weird places. We have one at between like two walls. There's a whole space there where they get in, and yeah.
Yeah, because I basically I have a terrace and a sloped garden, and I tried to terrace it using logs.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got wasps' nests on it then, so I had to with young kids, I had to get rid of the logs because they were sort of a hiding space. So I soon got rid of that. So then you've done your PDC. I take it if you're a tutor, you've done your diploma as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I started kind of immediately afterwards, after the PDC. I mean, I were already kind of preparing before I went to the PDC, so I had a little bit of a head start, so to say.
Yeah. So you're doing your diploma. Is that where the digital permaculture came into it?
Kind of. I mean, my background is, of course, coding and web design. So I always was intrigued to kind of experiment with permaculture being applied beyond the garden. So during the diploma, I wrote a communications design for the Finnish Permaculture Association, where there are kind of already some concepts being used that were extended, like the zones concept were used into as dissemination zones. So what people to reach first, and then further and further out, which takes more time. So frequency of visit and duration of stay transferred onto dissemination of information. And I also wrote a design that didn't make it into the diploma about alternative softwares for Permaculture Association, mostly focusing on free and open source software.
And how did you find the diploma? I've been on it now 2 years and I haven't done any work.
It was, I would say, it was pretty simple and straightforward. If you have like a project that you need to do anyway or want to do anyway, then the diploma is a great way to support kind of what you're doing. So I had these barn here, and the barn didn't have real walls. So the walls were just some kind of wood paper material that was painted with weatherproof paint, so to say. and it was just peeling off. So I had to do something about that anyway. And the permaculture design helped with that to come up with ideas how that space can be used. And now it's like an indoor food forest. There was the biogas system, and there's a teaching classroom there now. So I would say it's really helpful.
Class. So, often a bit of a tangent here. Biogas. I've often thought about a biodigester here, but I was worried about getting the operating temperature. I think it's between 21 25.
No, it's actually 37.
It's 37 Celsius.
Yeah. There are different types of archaea in there, of course, other microorganisms. And the archaea, they require that they have their optimum at 37 degrees. So that's where the most methane production happens, of course, if enough food is there to be digested. The lower it goes, the less methane will be produced, and at one point it will completely stop methane production.
So how did you solve that? You took it indoors?
Indoors, heavily insulated. The insulation was like, I would say, 40 centimeters or so.
Right, and then how do you heat that, or?
So I combined it with a solar vacuum tube collector, and I pumped the hot water in, like a circulation through the IBC.
Right.
It's a little bit messy, but it can be done.
Right. Well, I'll have to pick your brain then later, because I had sort of given up on the idea of a biodigester.
Yeah, of course, my pleasure. Yes, please.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Thanks. So you moved to Finland. And can you tell us about permaculture on your own property now?
So it's not fully designed. We of course have areas that, you need the zone 5, the wilderness, at some point. So it's an old log house where we are living, which we have renovated or still renovating. So it's a little bit step-by-step thing. We have several different gardens and different areas. We have different indoor growing areas. So we have an indoor food forest where I grow goji. Then we have, of course, like a greenhouse, kind of not polytunnel, but greenhouse. And what we just finished building is a sunken greenhouse, or a partially sunken greenhouse. So this was an old garage where you would work on cars, and basically the previous owner dug a ditch into the ground. And the nice part is that ditch is below the frost line. So we're going to use that for special trees that wouldn't easily grow in there at our area where it's that cold in winter.
Yeah, so when you say you have an indoor food forest, I assumed that was a greenhouse.
It's the old barn. What basically happened is I came across their glasses. So there was a renovation going on in the nearest city, or not the nearest, but the biggest city close by here. It's Tampere. And they were renovating one of their municipality buildings. And I just asked the guy, hey, can I take the glasses that you're kind of throwing away here? So I drove to Tampere 2 or 3 times, got all the glasses, and then put them in front of this old barn. And this is where the greenhouse now is, or the indoor food forest is. So I'm not using it to grow annuals. It's all perennials in there. There are some annuals like tomatoes or so, but it's mostly perennial plants. Yeah.
Great stuff. And so your project's called Beyond Buckthorns?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us how that started and what's that all about?
That started when we came here, basically. 2016. And it's transferring the whole existing space into a permaculture homestead. So, yeah. We have, like I already said, different gardens, annual. So we grow a lot of garlic. We grow a lot of vegetables. But the most part is the berries. So all kinds of berries. And we don't have any animals other than our cat, Miss Sophie.
So do you teach there, or do you do design work or anything like that?
I do design work every now and then. We have courses. Lumia is teaching an intro to permaculture course in Finnish. I have taught 2 PDCs in English. I usually teach biogas course every other year. We tried the regenerative energy course. This year wasn't that well anticipated. So we are trying different concepts, different course types, different approaches, different content. What worked very well over the last years was the design camp. This is like a crash course into designing, 2 days, very straightforward approach without talking a lot about concepts and more going straight into designing.
Right, so very hands-on then.
Yeah, it's hands-on. Yes.
Great stuff. And you say you do design work. What is there? Do you just do what comes your way, or is there a particular type of property that you like to design?
It's really what comes to us. So we do a lot of consultancy. Like if you're for your space need something designed, then we help you with that. So pretty simple stuff. So it's up to like what did we do so far? I would say 12 hectare was the biggest we have done so far in consultancy. So every now and then that comes around, and I'm often working on digital designs or digital permaculture design, so to say. So there's a small difference between using digital tools in permaculture and actually doing digital permaculture design.
Right. So what digital tools do you use?
It depends. So for design work, when I work with properties, then it's usually QGIS. So a GIS software, open source, of course. For the vector graphics, it depends on how difficult it needs to get. If it's very simple, it could be Inkscape. If I need to go further down the road, then it's Affinity. For image pixel graphics, it's GIMP or also Affinity. So it kind of depends what I need.
Have you seen the new Affinity Studio?
No, actually not.
It's quite impressive.
Okay.
So you can actually, what I did was I just did the normal, put the base map in the Google Earth picture, and then you can basically create an image of a greenhouse, and through, so it's an AI prompt inside Affinity where you say, give me a greenhouse, and then you can take the background out and just put your greenhouse on the picture.
Yep.
So it's a massive jump in terms of design quality, because you can instead now, where before it was just a square box with greenhouse on it, now you've actually got a picture of a greenhouse, and then you can get a picture of a tree. I asked for a picture of an oak tree. So basically now you can go to ChatGPT, ask them for the prompt, and then go into Affinity and put the Canva prompt in. So the Canva AI built in, and it is a big jump.
Of course. It's also a big jump in magnitude of energy consumption.
Yes.
course, all the hardware that needs to be produced. So when we go down that road, then we go for rare earth mineral mining, probably child labor.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about it that way.
Yeah, that's the problem with AI. It just sneaks in everywhere, and we never consider the implication it has. It just sneaks up on us, and we don't do conscious decisions actually to use that stuff. I mean, this is where digital permaculture comes in. We need to have conscious decision about the tools we are using.
Yeah, I'm getting AI is appearing where I don't want it. And it's all of a sudden these AI features like in work now we're getting Microsoft Copilot. It's go away. I don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't want a Copilot. But it's there. It's invasive, and particularly on social media now, a lot of AI generated content, which I don't want to see.
Yeah, it's immense. It's even in the permaculture community pretty immense. If you look through Facebook about course advertisement in the permaculture community, you come across a lot of images that have been generated by AI.
It puts me off straight away. And there was one guy who's actually it wasn't him speaking; it was his AI voice. And so it's a permaculture talk, but it's given by the AI version of him.
Okay.
Which to me is completely off-putting. I don't like. I turned it off. I don't want to listen to
that. We are entering the realm of the uncanny valley in the permaculture sphere.
Right, I suppose that. Do you want to just take us back, or just sort of go? We'll talk about digital permaculture now. So, where would somebody start if I was looking right? I want to find out more about this digital permaculture.
Okay, so at the moment it's mainly on the Beyond Buxton's website, and there are 2 notes or 2 articles that are, or actually 3 articles that are kind of important. That's the one that's actually about the book, so which gives you kind of PDF where you can read into the book and also the structure, the content, what's in there. Then there's an article about artificial intelligence and its usage in the diploma of applied permaculture design. And then there's, of course, the presentation I just gave for the Permaculture Association Britain about digital permaculture. If you're looking for the wider context of ethical IT, then I would highly recommend the latest series of Gen Europe. So there is Angel Mattila. He is the IT infrastructure manager of Gen Europe. So he is at the moment composing documents or like articles about the topic. And I think Transition Town also picked up like this or next month on the topic of ethical IT. So the larger movements, the larger sustainability movements, at least in Europe, are picking up on the topic. And they have to, it's like at the moment, the greenhouse gas emissions that come from the IT or ICT are depends on the calculation, how it is calculated, but it's up to 4%. And the worst predictions are that it can go up to 14%. So total change in magnitude due to AI.
So do you have a definition of digital permaculture?
Sorry, say that again. I didn't get that.
Do you have a definition of digital permaculture?
Not really. Like a 1-sentence definition, no. I mean, it's like, the definition of permaculture. You ask 100 people and you get 100 definitions. Let me try a reverse way of describing it. So all permaculture design results in permaculture. So it's the same for digital permaculture. All permaculture design that's in the context of the digital results in digital permaculture. So the important part is always that you have to do design. So you have to kind of step through certain steps that design work requires. And it's basically with digital permaculture the same as it would be with land-based design or social design, so to say. So you have to do your observations first, observe and interact.
Yeah. So, say for example, now I'm doing I'm building a home lab, and that's basically I want to have my own storage that I can access for videos, so I can edit video on the go. Because of podcasts, I have a lot of videos I need stored. So I would approach that from a permaculture perspective to try and get that design right. How would permaculture play into something like just setting up I'm setting up a basic server, a Start9 server, a NAS, and then a GPU server that I can access through a laptop. How would I apply permaculture to that design?
Okay, so first of all, you could kind of, if you're going to say, okay, I will be a NAS, then you can say, okay, what type of NAS? And then you can say, okay, I want one that uses an open source system, not a proprietary. So you're probably ending up either building one yourself with a Linux system, or you say, okay, I'm not that versatile with that system. I know about the option. I'd like to go there, but I can't at the moment. So I'm stuck with a proprietary system. It's, of course, you always have your 3 ethics with you. It's always Earth Care, People Care, and Fair Share. And if you can't have all 3 of them, you shouldn't do it. So if it's not proper people care because it's too much that is required from you to do it, then it's not really in the you're not aligned in your design then. So the proprietary makes more sense then. So, but you basically say, this is where I am and this is where I want to go, and you have the ethics and your principles and your design process in between to get there. And you have to value the options. Perhaps you already have enough there. You might need a NAS there, because NAS means that you constantly need to access it, and that it's not just you who needs to access it. This is where the benefits of a NAS come in. So for you, it might be that you just need a memory stick for storing it, or that you just need a hard drive pluggable somewhere. So there are, you need to find out.
Yeah. So it's going to be for family photographs. So basically, we have all these photographs in different devices, and it's creating one place where the photographs can all be accessed, and then we can give access outside then to other people and share photographs. It's a way of sharing. And it's a way I share it for me, because for example, once we record this podcast, I'll have a 2 or 3 gigabyte file.
Mm-hmm.
So at the minute, I'm uploading that to YouTube or the Google Drive, where I prefer to share it through Nextcloud to somebody on my own server.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, what you can do, you can sync your NAS with your Nextcloud.
Yeah. So without boring people too much, the technical side. Right, so I just have these are my requirements. How do I get there without stressing myself out, taking too much out of myself? Everybody's happy, and I put all the design requirements in. So we go through the normal permaculture design process.
Yeah, you always have your ethical reasoning with you. So you could reason, why YouTube? YouTube is owned by a multi-billion revenue national. Do we need to support this as the permaculture community, or could we use PeerTube? Or could we use another service?
I have seen a lot of people trying to get off YouTube and go to these independent ones, but it's the sheer volume of YouTube really sort of puts people off. And like there's been alternatives that have popped out, but have never really taken off.
Yeah, that's the real problem. That's the platform economy that we are in. So the winner takes it all. My question is, do we as permaculture community really need to support this, or should we be able to actually support other systems, other platforms?
Yeah. What did you say there? PeerTube? Is that an alternative?
PeerTube is an alternative. It's a decentralized system. So it's not owned by one giant company. It's like, you can run your own PeerTube server. Basically, it's a federated system. So it's a decentralized federated system. It's like, if you compare, let's say, you take X and you don't want to be on X, you could be on Blue Sky or you could be on Mastodon. Those are federated alternatives, where the one is still owned by a company and the other is with the community. So it's already all there. It just takes ages to get there. The majority to get there, or like the crowd. Yeah. The argument behind it is always the same, and it's always, we have to be there where the people are, and this is that we never get the community off of that stuff because we just stay there forever.
So have you heard of Nostr before?
Sorry,
Nostr, Nostr.
Nostr. Nostr. No, don't ring a bell. Sorry.
So Nostr is basically, it's done on blockchain. So I have my ID on this.
Okay.
So the way it works is basically, so if I log into Twitter via Nostr, it has all my login information. So if I make a post then I log into Nostr and make a post into Twitter, it copies that to my Nostr profile. So if I log into then Facebook with that Nostr profile, that same post appears on Facebook, but I've just chosen which one I actually want to go to. So it's you carry the information around. You can run your own Nostr node, so the information is yours. It's decentralized. Yeah, and I like that. I like that idea. That then if I have my Nostr profile and then you create PeerTube, well, if I log into PeerTube with my Nostr profile, my information is already there. I don't have to create a new account, a new sign in.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So, yeah, I really like that one, but it just hasn't taken off yet. So it is fairly what do you call cryptocurrency at the minute? A lot of cryptocurrency stuff on there, but I think there's a few people trying to grow it and put non cryptocurrency stuff on there.
Oh yeah, there are some examples. I think Jeff Lawton's PDC certificates are on a blockchain somehow.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have a link to go and get my certificate there, but I didn't know it was on a blockchain.
Yeah, that's what I saw at least. So I could be mistaken, but I thought it was blockchain technology where they are stored at.
Yeah. So you've written a book on digital permaculture?
Yeah. Yep. I wrote a book, like my first one.
And what was the experience of writing a book?
That was a new one. Yeah, I was very intrigued while writing it. I mean, it was a little bit of back and forth with Douglas Laughlin, American guy who was very keen about the topic itself. So he pointed me into a lot of directions, especially when it comes to the zones, permaculture zones, and about the problems we have in the digital sphere when it comes to zoning. So the experience was quite interesting. So what I'd like to do was actually completely designing the book myself. So not leaving it to an editor. So I want to have full control over font size, over alignment, of how the chapters look like, what fonts are used, all of it. So the entire book. And it's actually, I suggest to everyone to do that once. It's kind of a learning curve. And the amount, I actually found a bug in LibreOffice while writing it. So it's still, I think it's still open and not solved. It gives you interesting experience in doing so.
Do you want to tell people what the book's about?
Sorry?
Do you want to give a quick overview of what the book's about, where people can get it?
You can get it at any bookstore. It has an ISBN. So you just walk into a store and say, hey, I want to have Digital Permaculture by Dominik Jais, and they will find it for you. So it's everywhere available. The interesting part is it's handled by Books on Demand. So it's not pre-printed. Whenever a book is sold, it gets printed. So very simple. Yeah, it's an interesting system that with digital production, this is now possible to do. I did one book like 10 years ago about my artwork, and I also, this is where when I came across Books on Demand, there are now multiples of those services that offer the same service. But I stayed with Books on Demand, so I like their service.
And do you want to just give a brief overview of the book, what it's about?
So it's an entire design on the topic. So it introduces the reader to digital permaculture. So it gives a broad overview of the subject, and then dives into one exemplary design. So it goes through an observation or surveying stage, where I survey different types of software, different softwares in different zones, hardware. Basically, I create inventories. How much hardware do I have here? What software am I using? And then evaluates all these softwares used, and then kind of tells what alternatives can be used or can. So I argue, for example, about messengers being used. So how to actually check which messenger to use. So my preferred one at the moment is either Signal or Threema. So how to get away from WhatsApp, basically. So it guides the reader through one permaculture design, and it's the biggest design I have done so far. It's on 200 pages.
Oh. So how do you get people away from WhatsApp?
Depends. So first of all, during the conversation with, or during the presentation with the Permaculture Association Britain, during their campfire event, it's often about resistance. There's often group pressure, like, hey, I am there, the group is there, and you have to use it. So I mean, the sheer numbers of people that are using WhatsApp, that's crazy. That's like half of the internet users are using WhatsApp. So we are talking billions of users using the same app. And it's not a free thingy, it's not something that's like the internet open, transparent, or so, like based on some RFC protocol or so. It's more like proprietary stuff. So all our conversation is, or half of the internet communities communication is on a proprietary software that can be shut down like this, or where backdoors can be built like this, and no one ever knows. So it's a little bit worrying me.
Yeah, well, I think was it Apple have stopped doing stuff here because basically the UK government wanted to put a backdoor in their software.
Yeah.
And they says no.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But how many times have they said yes?
Yeah, we don't know that they say yes. I mean, the source code is simply not available for us to check, and it's different. For example, with Signal, we can check the source code if you want to. We can see what's going on.
Yeah, I was on Signal for a while, but the people I communicated with there moved over to WhatsApp and Telegram. Yeah. So I'm over there on my own on
Yeah,
Signal.
yeah. I don't do this. I simply resist. If you want to reach me on Signal and not on WhatsApp.
Yeah, fair play to you.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
write an email. Oh, what's so bad with a good old email?
yeah, that's true. Don't get me started on voice notes.
Yeah, those. Yeah.
There is one lady who's on WhatsApp. It says her name and it says no voice notes. And I think
Okay.
very fair play to you. Just you have to stop and listen to a voice note. As you say, write an email. Yeah. So the European Permaculture Network. Do you want to try tell us about that?
The European Permaculture is, first of all, it's software based. So their main ingredient is a large website that is specifically tailored for teachers and course holders. So you can go there and you create your profile as a teacher, and you can present yourself there, and you can add your courses and other resources. You can add books or links or funding opportunities if you know about them. And that's the one part that's actually working quite well. So we have about 2,500 hits, or actual visitors per month. And we have about 230 members something. So it's steadily growing on a 5 to 10 members per month basis. And we are implementing different networking opportunities. One is the so-called Assured Teacher. So the Assured Teacher is first software-driven. The software tells that a certain person that added themselves to the teachers directory is eligible to receive the Assured Teacher badge. It requires the PDC, the PTT, and a diploma to get that. And then we schedule a peer review, and we make sure that the peer review happens across Europe. So you will not, the person that could receive the Assured Teacher badge, let's say, is in Spain. So we would take already a Assured Teacher from Czechia or from Sweden and bring those two together. And then they have a peer review session. Usually the minimum would be 10 minutes to step through the process, but usually the teachers enjoy meeting each other. So it takes over an hour for them to kind of talk about what they are doing, where they are, and how they got to permaculture, etc. So it's a fun thing to do. Actually, at the moment, there's a queue. There are like 10 people waiting to be assured. So it takes a little bit of time because it's all voluntary based.
Yeah, great stuff. I think I am there, but I don't think I've completed my profile yet.
Oh, yeah, you should, definitely. Yeah, you should actually add the Vine Permaculture.
Yeah, I definitely will. I'll put it on the list for this week. I have a lot to catch up on. I've been very absent for the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Yep. So this is the software aspect, and of course, the network is building itself. So, or not building itself, it needs a lot of help. But getting the different people together within the network is an interesting task. And we have a core council, so different people from different aspects of permaculture, and we're working on different topics, like a meeting every month or so. And then we have our community forum, which of course is also open source. It's growing projects. It's a slow and small solution, I would say.
Great stuff. And you have Perma Talks coming up now in a few months?
Oh yeah, they're coming up in January. We start on the 15th of January, and we have the Permatalks. So this is an ongoing lecture series that's coming back at the beginning of every year, and it's usually somewhere between 8 to 10 lectures about different topics. Interested lecturers can submit their lecture to us, and then we select them for the talks. And the next one, so 2026, will be a little bit different because we have dialogue sessions. So some months ago, Barbara Sheltos from Croatia suggested to bring people together which share the same experience or the same knowledge somehow. And what we did is we created in the profiles of the UPN the possibility to select what we call permaculture experience points. These are terms that are on Holmgren's flower. And you can select as many as you want. And then we actually match the people that have the same terms selected. So people with the same permaculture experience have been received an email and asked whether they want to go for a dialogue session. So this will be the first time with the PermaTalks. We will have dialogue sessions about permaculture courses. So different aspects of permaculture courses like the PDC and of course the intro courses. But then also about online. So we have Jo Holleran. She has experience with online permaculture courses. We have Katrine Dolores from Denmark. She is an experienced PDC teacher. And then we have Barbara Sheltos, who teaches at her homestead, different courses. So actually a lot, also cultural immersions. So there's a lot. Check it out. I highly recommend it. And it's a fundraiser for the UPN. So we ask like 30 euros for the ticket. And it is 10 sessions of permaculture fun.
Great stuff. And are you tying in with the Link project this year?
Oh, yeah. It's tying in with the Link conversion. So the Link is a conversions that is Erasmus Plus funded. It's 1 week conversions. I think it's three sessions per day from the 9th to the 13th of February. And on Thursday, we'll have what we call the Super Thursday. Where we have 3 sessions about permaculture. So there's Annette Flinterman. She's talking about the SECAM community that I'm looking forward to. And the other tools are not yet carved into stone. So as far as I understand, there will be a talk from the Permaculture Collab introducing that. And then there will be also like a networking session for us to have a chance to get to know each other.
Great stuff. I've been part of that, but I've missed the last 2, so I'm a wee bit behind.
No
It's
worries.
It's been a crazy few weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, you mentioned the so the Link project. Where can people find out information about that? Was that on the EPN as well?
There's already a link in the events. Yes, the Link conversions is in the events, so you can go from there. Yeah.
And I'll put a link to that as well as the EPN. And you mentioned the collab as well. You do some digital circle work there.
Yeah, I'm part of the Digital Circle, which has finished 1-year research into an alternative for Slack. So the collab was for years on Slack. And of course, this is also like software that's owned by a multinational, which we don't have a saying in that how we want the software to be. And I think their latest problem was that they have the AI feature just enabled without us knowing. So,
and what was the AI feature?
I think they used the actual threads. They used this for training.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so the collab is now away from Slack. We moved to Discourse, so an open source alternative. It's of course not the same as in Slack as per se, that Slack is more like a chat platform, where Discourse is a forum platform. So it's a little bit different. But yeah, we are in the open source alley, and we evaluated, we listened to all the members that wanted to have a saying in that. So far, I think most of the participants are pretty happy with using the discourse forum software.
So is it discourse? Did you say it was?
Yeah, it's discourse. Don't mistake it for Discord. So it's discourse.
Discourse. Great stuff. And did I read somewhere, Dominic, you're available for hire? So if somebody has a permaculture website, do you do some consultancy around that?
Yeah, there are multiple options how to get to me.
Yeah.
So there's, of course, Beyond Buxhorns. This is where you always can contact me. Yeah, it's actually the fastest way. Or I'm actually redesigning my own website. It's dominikjais.com. I haven't done any work there. It's mostly about art, so interactive art, sustainability art, photography, and the books. So I have to do something there. But you can get me there. There is a contact form. And of course, you can find me on Blue Sky, and you can find me on Mastodon. And the fastest way is probably over the profile on the European Permaculture Network website.
That's good. We'll put that in the link. Just a parting question. So do you mentioned Arduinos and things there. Do you use any of that technology on your property? I made a Raspberry Pi with a temperature sensor and a humidity sensor on it. Yep.
So that's an Wemos D1. It's an ESP8266. The Raspberry Pi is a lot of overhead for just getting temperature. You run a whole Linux system on that thing. So
yeah.
This stuff is easier, at least from my perspective, if you want to do temperature. Actually, that is a temperature sensor. It's a humidity and temperature. It's a DHT 22, I think. So yeah, I still do this. I have a lot actually on the property. They all using MQTT to transfer the data. I have some further away, which using LoRa. So yeah, I do temperature sensing in different parts. Greenhouse, the water line is very crucial. So the water line that comes into the house needs to be protected against freezing. We might get like 25 minus Celsius at some points. So you need to be aware of that. So I mean, it's good insulated, but still we have an electric heating cable in there that's run on an MQTT electric system. So the plug runs on MQTT, so we can start the electricity from remote.
Great stuff. And the LoRa stuff, have you documented any of that or any blogs written on it?
No, I actually didn't do that. There's so much work. I'm really happy when it works, like, whoa. I put a sensor onto the washing machine, and now the washing machine is telling me when it's done.
So what's that temperature sensor you're using there?
It's a DHT22. It's an AM2302, an Ansong. That's a Chinese thing. And what I had in the biogas system was a DS12B20. Is it that? So they are encapsulated, because you have to put them into water. So you kind of have to. DS12B20.
Yeah. Dominic, that's great.
Yeah, DS12B20.
Yeah. Great stuff. Dominic, thank you very much. Have you any final words or any partner? How would someone just the very start of how they would get into digital permaculture?
Read the book.
Read it.
Read the book.
He's go, yeah, no excuse now. Dominic, that was great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cormac. This was great. Thanks.
And guys, that was Dominik Jais. For our own, if you could head to our school, we now have a school with a few basic courses on there. Just basically an introduction to permaculture. It's basically somewhere we can hang out after the podcast, and it's just it's basically behind the scenes. So it's the home of the podcast now. So we decided to go there, just throw a few courses up and see how it goes. And the podcast is out now on Substack as well on YouTube. Dominik, thank you very much. And guys, we'll see you all next week. Cheers.
Bye-bye.